Hey everyone, how are you today? This is your girl Amber. We have another broadcast of the 215 show. You know, that's two people, one question, 5 minutes. But you know, your girl likes to talk. So if we're spitting fire, it's never going to be more than 10 minutes. I wanted to introduce you to an awesome friend and leader of mine. Her name is Angela Musco. She is going to rock out some awesome tips on leadership for us today. She's going to spit some fire. So first off, Angela, can you give me a little bit in like a minute or less, what qualifies you to talk about leadership?
Yeah, for sure. So first off, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited about this. So for me, I started this business quite literally 3 years ago. I was that person who didn't have a Facebook at all, like no social media. I was totally against it. So I started this with probably 175 friends, and those were people I knew in person. So
Okay.
a lot of people don't know that, but the reason I feel that I am qualified for leadership is we literally pulled ourselves out of a complete hole. We started this from quite literally the ground up, built an organization of over 450 people, and that's not just me. Like we all did this together, but I, more than other leaders, and this is no shade to any other leaders, I feel that we started this having no idea what we were doing. Literally no idea. We've literally navigated through like all of it. We've been through the trenches. We've literally navigated all the way to where we are over the past 3 years. And something that I've learned, which I feel makes me very qualified, not only building from the ground up, is that navigation, really learning about humans and really learning about what people need and really learning how to communicate and really learning, just all of that
Okay.
over the past 3 years. So
Yeah,
this is
and
what
I can concur. You are a workhorse. Like you are. Everybody, y'all, listen up. If anything, if you take anything away from this woman's got DMOs, daily methods of operation. I asked her one day. I said, "So when do you go to bed?" It was like 12 o'clock at night. She was leaving for vacation the next day. She's like, "Well, I haven't gotten my DMOs done." It was like stinking 1 o'clock in the morning. Like
yeah.
she does not go to bed till it is said and done and the fat lady has sung.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to leave you that right there. Okay. So your question is, what do you think defines a true leader? Or if you saw someone in business, in what have you, whatever avenue, what would stick out about them that's like, oh, that person's a good leader, or they're going to be a great leader?
Yeah, for sure. So I think this is the two-part question, and
Yes.
I'm going to kind of answer because, again, 3 years ago when we started this, we knew that there were no options to fail. So there was no other option but to become the leader that we need, right? So for me personally, the very first thing is somebody who shows up, and exactly like what you said, there are zero excuses. So if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't gotten everything done, I can't expect anybody on the team to do things that I am not willing to do. And then kind of piggybacking on that, it's like you have to be willing to mess up bad. You have to be willing to fall on your face. You have to be willing to do the scary things and just screw up, quite frankly, right? Because if you are not willing to do that and solve the problem and figure out the problem, like how in the world are you going to have a team who is willing to get uncomfortable, or how are you going to be able to lead them through those struggles, right?
Yeah.
And then the second part of that question is something that I look for. It's funny being in this space because I think a lot of people try to recruit influencers, or they go after, the people that, have already built a name for themselves. And I'm just quite frankly not interested in that. There are so many components that, like, I don't know where you came from. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know your grit. I don't know if you're going to come in and be a workhorse for 2 months and then drop off the face of the planet and leave the rest of your team, floundering around. I don't look for influencers, right? And something
Yeah.
that really kind of starts to get my eye on somebody is if they are not about excuses, if they are just about grit, and I can quite frankly speak to you more recently, right? Like just going all in and not giving a damn, quite frankly. I hope it's okay that I say that, but like
Yeah.
that really to me shows leadership. It shows leadership that, you know, you have the grit. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about the influence. I don't care where you came from, because if I cared about that, quite frankly, I'd be a hypocrite, right? Knowing where I came from. So that's one of the first things. And then the second thing is a self-starter, somebody who is willing to harass their leader, right? And like I hear it all the time. And this is like, you know, and I understand where people are coming from when they say this. Is like, I'm so sorry I'm bothering you. Do not
That's me.
apologize to me. And I think I've said this to you before, right? Like,
Yeah.
do not apologize to me for stepping up for yourself and your future. Like, that is something to me, like, if you are willing to be in my inbox, if you are willing to quite literally harass me, if you are willing to ask the questions and then immediately go implement, that shows me that you are not only stepping up for yourself and for your business and your future and your family and all of that, but you are stepping up for your future team, because the only way to get the answers to questions you don't know, or to move forward in things that you don't quite know yet, is to ask the questions. So that is huge with leadership, is people who aren't afraid to literally just get like real gritty and you know, not give a damn and just go all out, and quite frankly harass their leaders. And I have one more thing. I know we're at like literally the 5-minute point, but something that I look for in a potential leader is somebody who is not willing, or who is not, their success is non-negotiable. They are not willing to fail.
You're right.
And what that means to me is like, yeah, going live is scary. Yeah, doing stuff like this is scary. Even asking, right? Like even asking a leader to do something like this is scary. But for me to like see somebody who is starting this, taking it seriously, or any type of business, it doesn't even have to just be network marketing. It can be anything you're doing, going to school, network marketing, you know, a brick and mortar business. I don't care what you're doing, but to be willing to kind of fall on your face or get scared and put yourself in a position where, like, you know, this would have never happened, but it could have happened, right? You could have came to me and I would have been like, no, right? You were putting yourself in that position, but you knew what the greater benefit would have been. And that to me is leadership, because then again, it goes back to, you know, I don't care if, you know, you have a team. So like, I don't care if somebody is coming in here day one, and they have, you know, they have a team of, you know, themselves, right? Like I don't quite care about that, because eventually they will have a team, right? So for me, when somebody is immediately off the bat stepping up in that way, it really, like, you need to focus on that person, right? So that I guess in a nutshell is kind of what leadership is to me, and what I specifically look for in a leader. And I think that that's probably a different answer than many people would give, because
you know, but that's why I'm kind of focusing on different people. We had Leanne last week, and that's why I kind of want to focus on a few different people to get everyone's variety of feeling on the subject. And you know, like you had mentioned, I messaged you. I was like, hey, sorry to bother you. I was like, but can I get a one-on-one and interview you on leadership? And you were like, here's my schedule. I mean, you could have said, well, you're not my direct downline, so you're going to have to go to your so-and-so, or my office hours do not coincide with your schedule. So, I mean, it was like, yeah, sure, here you go. Literally 5 seconds. Like,
and I think that like, yeah, I mean, that's because that quality in you shows me leadership, right? Like that quality, I will always, you know, I mean, it's 5 o'clock, or it's 5 o'clock where you are, it's 6 o'clock here, but like, quite frankly, Amber, if you were to say to me like, hey, I just looked at your schedule and it doesn't work, I would have moved things around, because that is a leadership quality. Stuff like that is stuff that, you know, as a leader you pour into, right? So yeah, I love that you asked me to do this, and I love the question, quite frankly, because I think it's something that's different for everybody.
Exactly.
You know, like you had said with Leanne on last week, but I just think that like for me personally, it's not what you start out with. It's not where you come from. It's literally not any of that. Those qualities can be developed if you don't already have them. And I think that those are important for leadership.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's a learned trait. And the great thing is that, like you said, no matter what kind of business or company or what have you that you're with, I especially love the fact that with our company, the leadership goes all the way to the top, like the top, all the way down, the bottom, all the way up. You get everyone's own ideal sense of leadership, but it's all the same. If I message someone above you, which I did, I messaged your upline and I said, hey, I need to take 20 minutes of your time next week if possible. I want to pick your brain about this. I asked you were like, yeah, sure. Last week, Leanne was like, yeah, sure. Like everyone, like you said, they move around schedules. What can I help you out with? The other day was end of month. Everyone was like, all of the leaders were like, what can we help you guys with? And I'm like, hold on a second. Like, we're supposed to be helping you. And I stopped myself and I said, they're doing what a leader does. And you're only as good. My personal opinion is you are only as good. If this makes sense, I think I'm saying it the right way. You're only as good as the people below you, I guess. Maybe I think that's what I'm trying to say, is that if your people are faltering or floundering, that's a reflection of you. You might make your numbers, you might make goals, anything like that, but how successful are your people below you? How nurturing are you being? If they're lost, like in the wind, blowing around, I mean, that doesn't show very positively on you. So yeah. I just like that you will get, at least in this organization that I've been a part of for well over a year, it's always been, even in busy times, what can we help you with? What is your, we got a form today. I'm totally over 10 minutes. We got a form today. What are your goals for the month? And one of the questions is what do you need more training on? I mean, literally, if you're listening to this as a podcast, I literally threw my hands up in the air and I'm like, someone's asking me what I need help to work on. Like that's, and that's what we get every month from you guys. So, but again, everyone, I value your time. I appreciate everyone for listening in to this broadcast. We will get this posted on YouTube. We will get it up on Spotify as well. Angela, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
I know. I got nervous last week. I got nervous this week. I mean, I've won awards for public speaking, but for some reason, like, I'm just like, I'm feeling a little queasy. Like,
that's so funny. Well, you did great. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so excited that you're doing this, especially just being able to get even the opinions and kind of viewpoints from all the people around you. You know us very well. So it's just more of your viewers. So I absolutely love that. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And to let everybody out there know, a lot of the people that I've had on, people last week, people this week, well, they've been one person. So Leanne and Angela, I have met them in person. I've known them for well over a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So I can say with full confirmation that, the stories that they give and, their experiences and everything like that is true 110%. So you guys will always get the truth on these podcasts and episodes and things like that. So I just wanted to thank you again, Angela. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for, being selfless is the word I was looking for, because you always put yourself out there and are always there for us to ask us what we need help with. And kind of like JL says, I kind of see you on the same level as this, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to impress upon you. And I kind of see that, that in you as well. So I just wanted to thank you for that. So I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'll probably message you right after this. So thank you guys. Enjoy the broadcast. We will have a new person next week. We are looking at scheduling. Quite the personality next week. I'm looking to get Brittany on here. So that'll round out our idea of leadership. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we will talk to you soon.